Good evening, everybody. My name is Jeff Fasesky with Fairfax County Department of Transportation, and I want to welcome you to this meeting to discuss the VRE Rolling Road Station Parking Lot Expansion Project. Before we begin, I'd like to review some guidelines so everyone can participate and get the most out of this session. Please note that this meeting is being recorded and will be uploaded onto our Facebook page. There will also be a link added to the project website for this project. And will be shared also by other online social media accounts we have, such as Twitter and Facebook. You're welcome to submit questions using the Q&A function in the WebEx window at any time. If you don't see a little Q&A tab, if you click the little three dots, click on that and you should see something that says Q&A. If you click on that, you can enter a question in the field, and then at the end of the presentation, we'll be answering questions and comments as well. One thing to know is that we will not be using the chat feature at all, so anything you say in there will not be looked at or recorded for record. And also, if you have multiple questions or comments, we want to just try to address a few of them just to make sure we have enough time to address everybody else's questions and comments. And then if we have time towards the end, we will get back to any unanswered questions you have. If it turns out we run out of time completely, any unanswered questions will reply directly back to you after the meeting. And if you're on the phone, we will have instructions at the end of the presentation on how you can let us know that you do have a question or comment, and then we'll unmute you so you can ask your question and give your comment as well. And also at the end of the presentation, we'll give you information how you can leave a voicemail or provide online feedback through the project website. We'll have the information up at the end. I would like now to present and welcome Springfield District Supervisor Pat Harity to open this meeting with brief remarks. Supervisor Harity.
Jeff, I understand he's on the phone. I don't know if he can speak.
Hey everyone, this is Peyton, his transportation aide. He's been having issues getting the application to open on his county computer, so he's trying to get back in again. It said he's been having issues with the application. I'm sorry.
That's fine. Well, once he gets on, we'll definitely I'll stop talking and make sure that he does have a chance to speak.
Perfect, thank you.
Okay. And also, we do have the supervisor's aide for the Braddock District, Sally Kidolive. I want to thank her for attending, and I believe she does not have anything to say, but we definitely appreciate her attending the meeting and potentially answering any questions that might happen at the end of the presentation. But also, I'd like to welcome Mr. Adil Bisariwala with VRE to give a few brief remarks about the current VRE Platform Expansion project that started recently. Mr. Bisariwala.
Thanks, Jeff. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for inviting me and providing me an opportunity to talk about the VRE Rolling Road project, not related to the parking project that the county is doing. So if you're one of our riders, you pretty much know the Rolling Road station is located on the Manassas line, and we operate from Washington, D.C. to Bristow, Virginia on Norfolk Southern tracks. So we don't own the tracks. We actually run on our host railroad, which is Norfolk Southern. Currently, the existing 380 feet platform only accommodates 5-car train sets. So if you ride our trains, you know you have to be in the first 5 train cars so that you can get off on the station. So what we're doing with this station extension project is we're building another 300 feet platform that can accommodate our entire train, which is 8-car train sets. And so you don't have to move in the train anymore and need to know that, hey, I need to be up front to get off on this station. All the cars will pretty much open their doors at the station once this project is complete. And so basically it decreases loading and unloading time at this station. The project also includes rehabilitation and repair of the existing platform, replacement of the stairs, the main stairs, and then replacement of the existing canopy roof and upgrade of the lighting and communication systems. Right now, what the contractor has mobilized on May 19th, and we awarded the contract to the contractor in February. And construction is hopefully scheduled to end March 2022. So right now, if you looked at, been on site, we're currently doing site clearing and ready to begin installing the foundations. So that's what I have, Jeff.
Thank you for your description of the project. And if there's any questions, you'll definitely stick around to answer them. And also at the end of our presentation, I will show the link for the project website, so you can get more information there. And it looks like Supervisor Harity has come on board. So I'd definitely like to welcome Supervisor Harity and provide some opening remarks.
Yes, well, first of all, this is a listening session, so I'm here to listen. I think we had a meeting a little over a year ago, and we heard the concerns, and this is again another opportunity for our citizens to weigh in. So I want to thank everybody that's on, and look forward to hearing your comments as we move this project forward. We heard loud and clear that we didn't want a parking garage, and I think you're going to be happy that there is not a parking garage in this plan, as I don't think the volume dictates it. And but I'm here to listen and want to thank everybody for participating.
Thank you, Supervisor Harity. And with that, we'll start the presentation. And again, I want to thank you very much for coming. We appreciate it. Contributors for this project on the county side is Department of Transportation, our Land Acquisition Division for the upcoming easement and right-of-way acquisition, our Utilities Design and Construction Division, who will oversee the construction, our Department of Public Works, Environmental Services, Stormwater Planning Division that helped with the stormwater detention system. Also, our Virginia Department of Transportation, who reviewed the road portion of the plan for this project along the frontage of the parking lot. And also, Springfield and neighboring Braddock districts. And also a VRE for participation or contributing with us and collaborating with us throughout this process to make sure both projects don't have any conflicts. And also Whitman Record Associates, who is the design consultant for this project. Here's a quick agenda for this presentation in the meeting. Start off with the project status of where we're at and where we will be. Then go into the design features of the project, go over the costs, and then end up with a question and answer session. And one quick thing, as I mentioned before, if you click the little 3 dots on your screen, or it might say more as well, something will pop up and there should see a tab that says Q&A. That in there, you'll be able to type in any questions that you have at any point. If you have called, I'll give instructions at the end how you can indicate to us that you do have a question, and we will be able to unmute you. And as I said before, please don't use the chat function because we will not be monitoring it or looking at it throughout the presentation. And one thing to note, there is another DOT project nearby. I believe it is the Burke Road Realignment Project. This project has nothing to do with it, so please do not leave any questions or comments for that project because me and my team are not affiliated with it at all. I will provide the project website at the end of the presentation, so you can go there if you have any feedback. And on the website, it will have contact information. But for this project, the project is a short-term improvement to the parking lot to increase capacity. Also, there are sections of sidewalk that currently do not meet ADA guidelines. So with that, we will be evaluating the sidewalk and replacing portions as needed to have the maintain the maximum slope needed for the project or for the sidewalk per ADA guidelines. And also we'll be extending the curb along Burke Road to the north to minimize parking along the side of the road and also in the portion to the north of the parking lot. For the status, we had early design submitted. The intermediate design was in March 2019. Pre-final plan was October 2020. We're currently working on the final plans, and we hope to have it submitted in the next month or two, depending on if there's any significant feedback or comments from this meeting and from the citizen response or community response. We will look at that and see if any changes need to be made to the current design, which could potentially delay the final plan submission. And currently we are moving forward with our right-of-way acquisition, which should begin in the next couple of months. And with our current schedule, construction is estimated to be September 2022. As for design features, there will be 38 additional parking spaces added to the parking lot by extending it to the north and reconfiguring an existing median near the main platform entrance. Currently, there are 375 spaces and will be increasing to 413. Another feature is a retaining wall around the Dominion transmission tower at the north point of the existing parking lot. That was an engineered wall to be as close as we can be to the tower per Dominion guidelines to maximize the number of spaces that we could have. Also, another aspect for the project is we collaborated with the Stormwater Planning Division of DPWS to put in an underground stormwater detention system, which will contain more water runoff than it will produce by the increase in impervious area for this project. So the net result will be that during a rain event, the post-outflow will be less than the pre-outflow that's currently happening now. And I know there's concerns downstream with runoff, so this will definitely help. And also with coordinating with VRE throughout our design and throughout their design, they will be repairing and expanding the existing concrete bike paths that are in front of the main platform entrance, which will accommodate a future bike shelter, which is part of another program with DOT. And they are currently finalizing the products that will be used, and there is some time required for the permitting process to have that happen. Once that's approved, they will start installing various bike shelters throughout the county in different areas. And this project is slated to get one, but then we're just waiting on the approval of the process and also for them to get funding for it. So hopefully it will, there's a chance it could be built with our project, or if not, if there's an issue with the permitting or the finalizing of the program and funding, it can be put in after the fact, after the project is completed. Here's a city map looking at the project. The white line is Burke Road. The red area is where the parking lot is currently, and the VRE Rolling Road Station. Here's an overall map, a project looking at our proposed improvements. It's a little bit small. Unfortunately, this is a virtual meeting, so we can't have a big, huge exhibit for you to look at up close. But a full-size PDF is available on the project website, so you can zoom in and look at it and see it clearly. But looking at the overall, the blue portions are the proposed sidewalk, which will be replaced or added to the project. And the light gray is to the right side of the screen, is where the north would be the proposed expansion of the existing parking lot. And what will basically happen there is the existing row of parking spaces along the frontage of Burke Road is going to be removed and realigned to allow it to be expanded further out, so we can have the additional parking spaces. And also part of the project is to extend the existing curb along Burke Road to the north. And you can see there is a proposed entrance, and this would be a maintenance entrance for Dominion Power to access their transmission tower. And that entrance will have a gate or a chain that is locked. We're still in talks with them of what they prefer to have, but that will eliminate access beyond that point. So it'll prevent vehicles from parking there. And here's a close-up so you can get a better view instead of having to go to the project website later. But basically, we are going to remove the existing median, which is in front of the main platform entrance, reconfigure it, and also allow more parking spaces than the current 2 spaces in that spot. Also with that, we will be replacing portions of the sidewalk, which currently do not meet ADA guidelines. And we'll also make sure that the tie-in with the work that VRE is doing is adequate to maintain ADA guidelines as well. And here's a portion of the expansion that we're proposing. As you can see, we are extending the point of it. In the middle of it, we are going to have an underground bioretention stormwater management system, which, as I said before, is intended to contain more water than it's oversized, so it'll contain more water than necessary per design guidelines. So the net effect will be that the outflow from future rain events will be less than what's currently happening now. And here is a cross section, as you saw on the previous screen, where you see the AA of how it will look. You can see on the right is Burke Road. We'll have a curb and gutter section, buffer area, and then a sidewalk with a parking lot. And then on the far side is where our proposed retaining wall will be and any lighting that's needed. There'll be a 6-foot sidewalk along the ramp, but then a 5-foot sidewalk at other points where there isn't a barrier to the side to allow adequate access. The next phase, as I mentioned earlier, is the right-of-way phase. Aside from design, VDOT right-of-way for the extended curb on Burke Road will be attained on Fairfax County property. There will be a temporary construction easement required on the Norfolk Southern property in front of the near the retaining wall, and also in front of the existing main entrance platform for the platform. And as I said before, we should acquire or begin that process in the next month or 2. Another factor with any project is to see if there's any utilities that are affected or impacted by the project. We have been coordinating with utility companies because originally there was a conflict with the two utility poles along Burke Road. We were able to coordinate with Dominion Power to revise our design to make sure those poles weren't moved, because from discussions with them, due to the nature of the curve in that road and the existing wires on it, it would be very difficult for them and then end up being very expensive to relocate those 2 poles. So we were able to keep those poles from being moved, which did reduce the or potentially reduce the total project cost. And talking about costs, the design is $570,000. Right-of-way and utility relocation is $130,000. The construction costs is $1,225,000 for a total of $1,925,000. So that concludes the presentation for the project. Now we'll go into the Q&A session. As I said before, if you look for the little 3 tabs, 3 dots on the bar, you should be able to see a Q&A tab pop up. If you click on that, there should be a bar or field that you can type in a question. If you are calling, please hit *3 on your phone, and what that will do is give a little hand raised icon to people in the background managing this meeting online, and then it will indicate to us that you have a question. And once we get through, we will call you by your number. You'll be unmuted. You'll be able to give any comments or questions that you have, and then once you're finished, or you don't have any more questions or comments, if you hit *3 again, it'll get rid of the hand raised icon, so we know that you are finished and don't have any other questions or comments. And here is the website for the VRE Platform Expansion. It will, like I said, it will be part of the presentation, and a copy of this presentation will be put on our project website. You'll be able to access it then. Also, here's the website for the Burke Road realignment project. Like I said, if you have any questions or comments for that, please go to that project's website And there will be information at the bottom of the screen of how you can give any questions or comments that you have for it. And that, like I said, that concludes the presentation, and we will now start the Q&A session.
Hey, Jeff, I'm Jim Beal. I'm gonna be reading the questions. The first question, will the 38 spaces being added be in addition to the gravel spots people have co-opted beside the lot? Or are we just making these spaces paved and integrated?
So those spaces will be paved, and hopefully it'll eliminate the need for people to park in the grass area. We've also restricted, I know we did counts early on to see how many people parked on average, and then the spaces that we are adding exceeds that number. So once more people start commuting again and that parking lot fills up, the net increase in spaces is more than what we had for our average counts of people parking in the grass area. And also adding that gate to the entrance will prevent people from parking there as well.
Okay, this question is for VRE, so I'm gonna give this to Adil Masurawala. This is the first time we've seen anything on the project. Can you give us an idea how you determine your demand?
So we do passenger counts annually. That's how we determine passenger counts. But again, this project is more to accommodate our existing 8 car train sets. So it's not based on any future expansion. This is a current need that we have.
Thank you, Adil. The next question, how much will construction restrict the number of parking spaces in the lot?
Yeah, that's something we're looking at. We're trying to see what efforts we can do to minimize inconveniences to people that currently use the parking lot. I know depending on what portion of construction will be done, people will be impacted. And there will be a moment of time where there will be lower capacity than there currently is. I know there's efforts that we're going to make to give people advance warning that there will be work being done on the parking lot, and encourage people to use another nearby parking lot like the Burke Center VRE parking lot, which has a garage which can meet that capacity. And we are looking at other efforts to see what can happen to possibly have extended hours to try to minimize the impacts on the commuters. But the downside is if we restrict the hours for the work being done, it'll extend the project. So we are looking at all the factors to try to have the construction time be minimized, but then also try to minimize the impact to the commuters that are currently using the lot. And also try to have efforts to have people use other nearby parking or other VRE stations in the meantime to reduce the overall impact for during construction.
And the next question, how long will travel be affected on Burke Road during construction?
I know the majority of the work will be on site on the county property. The only work that would affect traffic on Burke Road will be the curb extension, and it'll only be curb and gutter that'll be added against the existing edge of pavement, so there won't be too much of an impact. But I can get numbers for exactly how long we estimate that will be, and I can make that available on the website. I just need to talk with our construction inspectors to ask them for a rough estimate. I don't want to give wrong information, but yeah, there will be for the majority for the overall project time. That will probably be the least. That should be the least amount of time to impact or for the overall design. And I'll also have to talk with them to see what phasing of the construction that will happen. Will it happen early on or towards the end? I can find that out and I'll make that information available on the project website.
Jeff, I want to throw that to our consultant that we have a maintenance of traffic plan, and I know we have limits on the times we can close lanes to traffic. Regina, could you respond to this on how our
Yes, so Jim, thank you. This is Regina Herr from WRA. So the restrictions to the traffic would be during the non-peak hours during the day. So the construction that Jeff mentioned along Burke Road would be during, I think it's from 9:30 to about 3:30 during the day. I need to go back and check exactly what the times are. So they would need to be out of the work area then, or they would need to do some work later. But like Jeff mentioned, this is not a significant portion of the work along Burke Road. So the duration will not be that long. I'll let the construction folks tell us how long, but we're talking months. We're not talking at like even a month, maybe. Well, I guess I shouldn't talk out of turn, but yeah, it's not going to be, it won't be that long. So, and we will do everything to minimize the impacts to the folks who travel along Burke Road.
Thank you, Regina. I'm going to combine the next two questions. Most pedestrians do not use the assigned crosswalk in front of the lot, but cross up the hill at the corner of Bridge Ford. Will there be any enhanced lighting at the two corners islands of Bridge Ford Drive? Most pedestrians cross there and it's difficult to see them when you're trying to turn.
This project will not, the project limits is just the parking lot itself. We did look at the existing crossing in front of the parking lot entrance. But in terms of other crossings for that street, we did not look at anything for that. If you have any concerns, we can definitely pass them along to county staff to see if there's any work that could possibly be done for that. But for this project, there's no evaluation for any of the streets south or north of the project.
Question for VRE. The VRE project is underway. As you know, we have only one way in at each end. What provisions to manage on-site issues and traffic flow are provided? We already have rocks and debris on the road and vehicles stopped on the two-lane road.
So I'm not sure if this question is related to our contractor that's on site right now, but just so you're aware, we have a separate construction entrance, which does not impact the, access to the parking lot right now. And if there are any issues with rock debris on the road, we actually have a construction manager on site that's on site every day when the contractor's on site. And so if there are any concerns, just email me, or Jeff can pass my contact information. Just let me know and we'll take care of it if there are any issues that are with the construction that's going on. If this is related to just regular traffic in and out, that's what hopefully this is trying to resolve, the parking lot project, that that people are not parking on the road.
Thank you, Adil. Well, the next question, is there any effort to work with a nearby shopping center to use part of their lot and provide shuttle service?
We have not contacted them or thought of doing a shuttle service. I think it might come down to how many people are using the parking lot at the point of construction. But I know, we'll make efforts to try to encourage people to use the Burke Center VRE station, which has a lot more capacity. I know people will be a convenience for a while. That's something I can pass along to see if that could be an option, but it just depends on if the demand needs something like that to happen.
Tell us about the bus access plans. The community is concerned about potential growth in bus traffic, specifically Metro using the station as a transportation center. The concern is we'll have more bus traffic with narrow roads.
So Jim, I can handle this one. This is Tom Bashadny. I'm the director at Fairfax County DOT. There is no plan to increase bus service in this area. There is an existing Metrobus 17L that runs on Burke Road. In the foreseeable future, that will be essentially the same as it has been. We're not anticipating increasing the number of buses either on Burke Road or using this particular station.
Thank you, Tom.
And one thing to add to it, there was auto turn design studies for the parking lot for bus access. That was more just as a design feature to make sure what we're proposing would not prohibit any potential bus use in the future. One thing that could be done is a shuttle service in case a station is closed and people have to exit at this particular station to have a shuttle bus take them to a station down line. I know that has happened in the past. I don't know specifically at this station, but I know there have been track closures due to accidents or just general conditions with trees down where trains are stopped for an extended period of time and then they make a last minute decision to offload people and provide shuttle buses. So that was the reasoning for the auto turn design. Just if in the future, if the need for a bus was required at that station, they can adequately enter and leave the parking lot.
Returning to the question on construction debris at the VRE lot, this is back to you, Adil.
Sure.
Question is, the debris is definitely at the VRE site, specifically at the construction staging area.
I will make sure that if there is debris that it's cleared up. And then regarding cars stopped on, it is a construction access. We will have trucks coming in and out, so it'll be a minor inconvenience while we are doing construction.
Thank you. Do we have any questions on the phone?
I'm not showing any call-in users at this point.
We can wait a few more minutes to see if we have any more questions.
While we're waiting for any more potential questions, I put the websites for both the VRE Platform Expansion project and the current Burke Road realignment project. If you have any questions or concerns for the VRE Expansion project, if you go to this website, there should be contact information. If there isn't, please use the my project's website for the feedback form at the bottom of the screen, and I will pass along any questions or concerns that you have to Adil and his group so they can address them.
Jeff, if I can chime in, if you go to this website that's on the screen, there is an email address that comes to me directly, and I can address any concerns that are raised. Also, you can see there's a video there that shows the progress for the construction for the VRE project.
We do have one more question. When will construction start?
I believe, the current schedule, we're estimating July of next year. We still have to submit the plans for approval, and also we have to deal with giving right of way to VDOT for the portion of the road, and also acquiring the agreements with Norfolk Southern. From initial talks to the land acquisition group, takes a little bit longer than usual to deal with the train company. There's several divisions, and it takes a little bit longer than they normally do with other agencies. So if they take longer than we anticipated with a current schedule, that might delay it, the actual start of the construction as well. And if it looks like we're cutting it to the wire, we could possibly look at starting the construction at a different portion of the site while we're waiting for the final approval with Norfolk Southern, which will be along the frontage of the platform entrance and also near where the proposed retaining wall will be. So hopefully, we'll have everything done in time. But yeah, I believe our last schedule said that it'll be July of 2022.
And I'd add to that if we advance the right of way more quickly, then we would certainly move that date up. It just really depends on how long the right of way is going to take. If we have more questions, how do we submit comments to FCDOT? And what is the timeline for comments?
Good question. That just leads me to the next screen. But here is information on how you can provide comments. We'll take comments until Thursday, June 24th. So we can see if there's any comments or questions that might impact the current design. Here's the project website. You can also go to the main county website, go to the search feature, and then type in VRE Rolling Road. This should be the first link that pops up. At the bottom of the screen of the project page, there will be a link you can click, which is a red feedback form link. With that, you can type in an email or a message, which will be sent to me. If you want to mail in a letter, here's the address. It's FCDOT, attention, Rolling Road, VRE Lot Expansion, 4050 Legato Road, Suite 400. City is Fairfax, States Virginia, and the zip code is 22033. Or you can leave me a voicemail. My number is 703-877-5792. And just to let you know, I'm on a partial telework schedule, so I'll try to check my voicemail as much as possible while I'm teleworking, but there might be a delay in getting a response to you. And also, if you do have extensive questions that need some research, I will try to give you an initial response, call back, and then once we get all the answers you need, I will give you a longer call in the future once we get all the information.
We have another question. This is back to Adil, and I'm not really sure I understand this. Can you comment on the FCDOT comment about excess capacity at the Rolling Road VRE station?
I'll try to answer that, but just so it's clear, we do not own and operate the parking lot. The Fairfax County does. So I can't really answer about excess capacity at the parking. The station, there's plenty of capacity at the station for passengers to get on and off. So.
Jim, I think the comment that was made was there's excess capacity at the Burke Center station, so that people could go to that station during construction if there's a capacity problem at Rolling Road. However, currently there's no capacity problems at the station.
Correct, yes. I meant since there's a garage installed years ago at the Burke Center VRE station, I know even a couple years ago, it was probably a half to 2/3 full at most. I live nearby it. My wife uses it, so I driven there very often to pick her up when it rains and she decides to walk. So looking in the garage, it's underutilized, which is good. Hopefully capacity will increase down the road, but I don't anticipate it overfilling to not provide the needs of people, temporarily going from this parking lot to their parking lot during the construction.
We have a comment from John Medeiros that says, "Thank you to the team," and we certainly appreciate that.
Thank you. I'm glad you enjoyed it. And like I said, please go to the link and provide any feedback or questions. There will be a full-size PDF of the initial overall project exhibit. And like I said, you can definitely give me a call if you want, or leave a message through the feedback form link at the bottom of the page for the project website. And if you have till June 24th with any questions or comments, so we can evaluate them and see if they impact the current design. And thank you for attending. We really appreciate it. Like I said, there will be a recording of this put on beta, be advertised, announced in social media forums, and also a link will be provided on the project website. And like I said, thank you again for coming. We really appreciate it. I hope you're informed, and have a nice evening.
Thank you. Hope everybody has a good evening.